Mute yourself if you're able to.
I'm gonna also turn my camera off until we get home so nobody's getting like motion sickness
So
watching.
right now, just go ahead and begin to close your eyes if you'd like. And of course, if you are safely in a place you can meditate. And just begin to visualize or experience in some way cords coming out of the bottoms of your feet and from the base of your spine. And just sending those cords down into the center of the earth. And you can attach those cords to something solid that you can find down in the center of the earth. You might even visualize the little opening at the bottom of those tubes that is connecting down to the center of the earth. Good. You're doing great. And just allowing all of your worries, concerns, cares, just letting all of that go down those tubes. Maybe any heavy energy, maybe you notice certain colors moving down those tubes. Good. And just allowing all of that energy to fully drain out, whatever that looks or feels like for you. Good. And I'm just going to give us all a minute just to drain out any more energy that is ready to go right now. Good. And now, if we could all connect a cord to the top of our crown chakra and connect that up to the center of the universe, wherever that is, and allowing that cord to feed us with whatever energies are here to assist us right now. Maybe some energy from our divine higher self. Maybe there's a color that you notice coming in. And just allowing that to happen. And now maybe feeling some energy from the center of Mother Earth's iron crystal core coming up the tubes in your feet and the base of your spine that is replenishing you with earth energy, allowing that to come in through your feet. You might feel that energy rising up into your body, feeling that cosmic energy coming in through the crown chakra, feeling that beginning to mix with your earth energies, mixing your cosmic and earth energies, about 85% cosmic, 15% earth. Just giving yourself that suggestion will help that to happen. And just feeling the peace and joy that comes to you with that balance of the earth energies, of the cosmic higher self energies. And you can do this anytime throughout your everyday life if you're needing to reset your energy, drain out all of those heavy discordant energies. You can just drain all that energy out down into the center of the earth, connect a cord to the top of your crown, allow that to fill in, Then once all the energy is drained, you can bring energy up from the earth and mix your cosmic and earth energies. And that is very effective. So just tuning into how that feels in your body and taking all the time in the world to come back, you can open your eyes and come out of this state fully present, relaxed, and very happy whenever you're ready. So,
Thank you,
how
Derrick.
is everyone after that?
You can put a thumbs up or medium thumbs. Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you, Derrick. That was very nice. So
Yeah.
let's get started. Welcome everyone to our workshop called From Depression to Freedom. I'm Kelsey Harte, and as you know, that's Derrick Ivey, and we are super excited to have you here. So a little disclaimer before we get started, you can read through this quickly right now. And of course, just says like, Derrick and I, we are not licensed doctors. So we are not here to write prescriptions or prescribe you any type of medication or do anything of that legal nature. We are here for educational purposes only. So we are here to just educate and share knowledge about how you can heal. And we do recommend always work with a primary care doctor, and you can take this information to them. And if you ever have an emergency, please call 911. Yeah, so overview of the workshop is we're going to do our intros, and that's including you all, so you'll get a chance to share for a little bit. And then we're going to go through the different holistic levels of healing depression, which is body, mind, soul. And then we will be sharing a special offer that we have created for you all. And stay tuned for the end because there will be a chance for you to answer or ask your questions, and we'll do a Q&A then.
Yes.
All right. So I will share about myself first. I am Kelsey Harte. I have a bachelor's of science in social science, and I am a holistic nutritionist as well. You can see my contact information there, so feel free to reach out to me at any time. I help people heal chronic illness naturally using different modalities. A lot of it has to do with nature, coming back to nature, using plants, herbs, and just the natural world to heal. I think that in my own journey of healing, that has been most pivotal to me actually getting lasting results is using plants, coming back to nature, doing energy healing. It is just a profound way to heal. And what's really cool about this way of healing is that it gets at the root level so that you can heal deeply, deeply, deeply within. I am a very deep person. I love, love, love getting deep with people. And I pretty much have deep conversations with everybody that I talk to. So it's my passion to go deep. And I really think that is where true healing exists. If people want to transform, they really have to start facing those deep levels and layers within themselves. As hard as it is, that's why there are professionals that are trained to do that with others, to hold your hand through that. And I know that's also really pivotal to Derrick's work, and that's why we get along so well, is that we focus on facing those deep layers, which also ties in really well to this topic of depression today. Because as you all know, if you are suffering from depression, you know how much that is in tune, or how much that relates to being in dark energy. And I think that it's really important to just face that to move forward and bring in the natural tools to heal it. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. And Derrick, do you want to share a bit about yourself too?
Yeah, thank you, Kelsey. And like Kelsey said, we are very much in sync as far as the way that we help clients, our philosophies. I mean, our modalities are different, our paths are different, but we have that same common goal to face the dark stuff and then transmute, transform, and enjoy life. So, my name is Derrick Ivey. I am a certified hypnotherapist and I live in Fort Collins, Colorado, about an hour north of Denver. So I work with clients all over the world. I'm a hypnotherapist, Reiki master teacher, and then I also teach hypnosis and energy healing. I have a lot of different students all over the world and clients all over the world. And really, I got onto this path through my own darkness. I originally, I had a lot of trauma earlier in life, like a lot of us, and that took me to the darkest places, which made me dig to those deepest reserves inside of myself. That was actually the biggest gift. So I originally went to school out of high school for psychology and ended up going the addiction counseling route. And from there, I realized that I wanted to help people on a deeper level than that. Like I wanted to help people that were ready to heal, that were ready for that. So that led me into hypnotherapy, and then I started accessing really deep psychic states in hypnosis, and that led me onto the energy healing path. And now I just keep learning every day. So I am very grateful to be here and to serve all of you today.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Derrick. Um, and I'll also share a bit about my journey with depression. I forgot to share that, but I have had depression since high school. If you listen to Derrick and my Facebook Live, I share a bit about that. But I have had depression my whole life, and I really got to a point where I burnt out and I was seeking answers on how to heal, and that's when I found the holistic model of healing. And so it is super profound how it helps heal depression, and super passionate to share about it. So that's why I'm here today. Um, and Derrick and I have both come a long way in our health and healing, like a very, very long way. So I love just sharing that and celebrating that. And so now we'll go around the group and take about 30 seconds to share about yourself. And if you could say your name, where you live, and what you're looking to get from this workshop. And try to be mindful to just keep it short and sweet, maybe like a sentence or two. Um, yeah. Is there anybody that
I'll
would like?
call on people
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yep. That sounds great.
Um, so Victor, would you like to introduce yourself at all?
How did I know you were going to call me first? Victor Guzman. I'm American expat living in Ontario. And I really have no expectations about the workshop. I'm just here to see what you guys have to say. I feel I'm at the end of my depression journey, but still stuck in freeze sometimes. So doing some somatic work, and just excited how far trauma therapy has come. Just all the different modalities. It's exciting. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Victor. And Zoe, would you like to share?
Sure. I'm Zoe Suzuki. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area in California, and I've had bouts of depression in the past, especially when I was younger, and even just getting this newer business started, I sometimes fall into a funk if things aren't working the way that I want them to. So looking for ways to avoid that moving forward.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Jessica?
My name is Jess Taylor. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you invited me to come here and see and to get to know you because we share a client.
Beautiful. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
And Allison? She might be driving.
Oh, I'm not driving anymore. I just had my thing muted and couldn't figure out how
No
to mute
worries.
it. So my name is Allison. I live in Loveland, Colorado with my daughter. I have ADHD and anxiety and depression to go along with that. And I'll get really, really depressed sometimes where I can't even get out of bed or shower or do anything really. So I have come a long way with working with Derrick. But the more tools that I have to help myself, the better.
Beautiful. Thanks, Allison. And Elizabeth, would you like to share?
I don't know if I'm on video.
You are. I can see you at least.
Oh, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I've been working with Derrick for about a year now, and I have ADHD and depression, and I'm really excited to be here for this presentation because I'm a social worker, so I can learn some things from my clients and learn some things for myself.
Beautiful. Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
And Kat?
Hi, my full name is Kathleen Cox. I live in Burlington, and I've been following Derrick since connecting with Lydia. I forget her last name. She's done some work with you. I think she did some training with you. And so when I saw that national workshop, I decided to do it as somebody who I've lived with physical issues my whole life because of a general inherited congenital condition. So which got worse. It gets worse as you get older. So I'm at the point where I've done a lot of healing work, and so I'm helping other people with similar type of conditions. Depression is a significant factor element. So learning how to best cope.
Thanks, Kat. And let's see, Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin. I am from Timonium, Maryland. I actually know Kelsey. I follow Medical Median, and that's actually how I found Kelsey. I'm like Victor, I didn't really have any expectations for today, but I'm always looking for tips on depression. I just have mild depression, but of course nobody wants it at all. So I just like some advice and suggestions. So I'm happy to be here.
Glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And did I miss anyone that would like to share?
I think you got
Okay.
everybody besides Dalton.
Awesome.
Does Dalton want to share?
He's not on, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I think we got everyone. So the
Great.
way that we're gonna go through is Kelsey's gonna share a little bit, and she's gonna share on her physical healing, the body, her medical medium information, and then I'm gonna go into the more subconscious and mind aspects, and then we're all going to have a discussion about the spiritual and soul healing aspects of depression. So glad you are all here, and yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all for sharing. It was nice to connect with each of you, um, and hear a bit about you. Some the people that said that they have ADHD and depression, that kind of stood out to me because there is a common root cause of both of those, which stay tuned because I'll be talking about that. But yeah, let's first start with talking about the signs of depression. Like, how do you know if you have depression? Well, you might be thinking like, it's super obvious. Like when I had depression, it's just like a feeling like you know that you have it because you just feel like you're not yourself. You feel like you're removed from feeling that like zest for life, feeling like excited to live, and you just feel like you're suffering and like you're disconnected from everything. And there's a list of different adjectives here that you can connect with that kind of um, describe depression. And depression is different for each person. So it will manifest and show itself in different ways. Like, Derrick mentioned that sometimes it could come in the form of insomnia, like it affects your sleep, or it could affect how you relate to people in your life and your relationships. It could affect your career. It could affect one thing but not the other. It's just very, very different. But in general, you feel these darker, denser emotions of like feeling hopeless, lethargic, feeling melancholy, sad, fearful, um, feeling kind of like slow or having a hard time thinking or talking. And it's just a general kind of like feeling. And depression is hard. It can feel very, very hard. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they're happy to be depressed. um,
Yeah.
yeah. Was anything else you want to add about that, Derrick?
Yeah, the thought I was having as you were going through all of these is I was just thinking about when I was navigating it myself, and the best way that I could describe my own depression was just heavy and thick and dense, like like you're stuck in mud and you can't get out. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. And there's a lot of different nuances for each person, but overall, it's, if you're not feeling like yourself, what's out of balance?
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that you use the word heavy because that's a really great way. It's like heavy, dense, just like really kind of like negative energy, if we put it that way. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah. And another thing I was gonna say is like those when I had depression, and I know I've worked with a lot of clients who had the same type of thing going on, but when I had depression, I had insomnia and anxiety through the roof. That
Yeah.
was a comorbidity, and it was all kind of the same I thought they were all three different separate issues at the time, but when I addressed everything at the root cause, I found out that they were all very much intimately interconnected.
Yeah. And Kat says ungrounded. That's a great one too. Definitely like
Oh yeah, that's a
ungrounded,
great one. Yeah,
not in your body. Those are all
yeah,
great. So I'm sure that there's something in there that each person here identifies with. In our society, depression is growing. So a lot of people in our collective are experiencing these mental health issues, and there's a reason for it. So what I specialize in is understanding the physicality of why people get chronic health symptoms. Depression is a type of chronic health symptom. It's also classified as a mental health symptom. It's kind of both and so I'm going to explain a bit about like the physical reasons why people get depression. Um, and I need to give a shout out to Medical Medium by Anthony William. That is the information that I follow that I will be sharing about. I have been using Medical Medium to heal myself for 5 years now. And I kid you not, it has changed my life forever. It has helped me heal from many, many debilitating chronic health issues. Some of them were brain fog, chronic fatigue, IBS, like digestive issues. It also has helped my mental health and helped me heal depression. So that I'm super passionate about it because it works and it's a great tool to help you if you are ready to heal depression at that like nutrition herb supplement level. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on here. And when we think about depression in terms of the physical body, there are 4 specific root causes that contribute to depression. So I'm going to go through the 4 root causes and explain each one. And you should know that you can have all of these root causes, or you could just have one working. When I work with clients, this is what I do with them is I go through their health history to understand the details and intricacies of their health to map out and pinpoint what their specific root causes are. Because just like we were talking about with depression, like it can manifest and show itself in different ways. The same happens for your root causes within your body. So we have like this general outline here, but for each specific person, there's going to be different levels of these things happening, and one could be present, one could not be present. It just really depends. So the first root cause is trauma and adrenaline. So trauma is a specific root cause of depression. It can be. So if you have ever gone through a very traumatic experience, such as loss, betrayal, broken trust, or hardships of any kind that was traumatic to you, that can cause depression after that. And that can be a standalone, or there can be other things going on. A lot of times a trauma will come in and then it will stress the body out and stress the immune system out, so that it does kind of allow these other root causes to start activating as well, and then things just kind of get worse and worse. So along with the trauma piece, there is a connection to adrenaline. So some people might know and have heard of the adrenal glands. If you've heard of them, raise your hand and let me know if you know what they are. Okay, so yeah, so most people know what the adrenal glands are. They sit above the kidneys, and so they are super, super important to our health. Really important. And I think that conventional medicine doesn't quite pick that up and doesn't recognize like how important and crucial they are to our health. They are little glands that have a ton of different hormones in them. So they've got like our sex hormones, they've got adrenaline, cortisol, our stress hormones. And they are the little glands that also they are related to like how we age, and all of that. And so if these glands are getting overused continually, or say there is like a big major stressor or trauma that will activate them, and they'll release a ton of adrenaline, and that adrenaline also comes into play with depression, and it can cause depression as well. And in our society nowadays, we are bombarded with a ton of like overstimulating things, so we are constantly pushing our adrenals, and those little glands can burn out, and that can really relate to if you have depression or not. So if you are somebody who is like constantly go, 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 you have a lot of stress in your life, like chronic stress, the adrenal piece could very well be part of why you are feeling some depression. And so
Right,
let's,
that's so important, yet so under said, I guess. Like
yeah.
nobody talks about the factors like that are so vital to our well-being, like the adrenals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a movement of holistic health that I'm super passionate about, because it's like coming back to your body and understanding what's going on inside of your body is really important. Um, Again, especially in our culture, we overlook the organs in our body. We don't really connect with them. We're not really taught to like be like, oh yeah, that's like my liver sits here, my adrenal glands are there, my
Mhm.
reproductive system has this in it. We're disconnected from our bodies, so it's important for us to come back and understand what's going on underneath. So now I'm going to talk about the second potential root cause of depression, which is having a pathogen inside the body. And I know that Erin knows what I'm talking about here, because Erin has been doing medical medium for a long time. And something that medical medium really focuses on is teaching us how big of an impact pathogens have on chronic illness and our health. So there was a boom of pathogens, viruses, and bacteria coming into humanity. And, people are like touching each other. They're easily having sex, or they are, even like eating food or going to restaurants. These pathogens get passed around really easily. And so what's happened is there are some strains of herpetic viruses that contribute to chronic illness, and they actually are one of the reasons for depression. So what happens when you have a virus inside of your body is that these viruses they like to eat on toxins and poisons inside of your body, and they will actually excrete that toxin out, and they create what's called a neurotoxin, which is an even more aggressively damaging form of the toxin that is now a virus's excrement, basically. And that, I'll call it poop, virus poop, it will float, or neurotoxin is like the more formal term for that. It will float around in your body, and it can get accumulated. It accumulates in your nerves, so it can cause nerve inflammation. It accumulates in tissues. It can accumulate in your organs, like your liver. And it also will travel up into your brain and accumulate in your brain nerves and neurons that are going on all of this in your head, and cause inflammation there. And then once you have the inflammation, that makes your neurotransmitters and your neurons and all of that get out of whack. Think of your brain as like an electrical grid system. So your brain has all of this amazing life force energy, like moving around in it. And there's such a divine order about how the brain connects inside. And so these neurotoxins, if they come into your brain, they mess that up and they cause things to like miswire and the connections get all funky. So that is the pathogen piece of depression. And it is super common. I think there have been studies coming out that show that I think it's like 92% of people have the Epstein-Barr virus, which is one of the herpetic viruses that are very problematic to our health. So if you haven't already, look into that more and check that out to see if you have that going on within you. So perfect timing. So we'll jump over to the next root cause now. The third root cause of depression is heavy metals. And so heavy metals are super, super common in our day and age. They kind of started in the industrial boom era where people were making new metals, and these metals became heavier and they became very problematic to human health. And what happens is people pick up these metals on a very minute level and they get stored in the body, and these tiny little minute pieces of metals will start accumulating and accumulating, and it gets bad because they also rust inside of the body. So think of like, say when you were a kid on a playground and you saw that like the monkey bars started to rust. Just imagine that kind of like coppery looking nastiness. That stuff goes into our body and it can create a lot of damage. Just the same as like the neurotoxins cause inflammation in the brain, the heavy metals can also cause damage in our electrical grid system of our brain and mess up our neurotransmitters, our neurons, and all of that, and our cells, and just cause chaos. And heavy metals are a major, major, major factor to mental health issues. So I'll go back to Allison and Elizabeth share that they have ADHD and depression. Allison also has anxiety. So each one of those different symptoms has a root cause related to heavy metals. Not,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, maybe just take that in for a second. That's kind of how you can tell what root causes you're dealing with is based on your symptoms and what is the commonality going there. So heavy metals directly cause depression, and it can be really important to cleanse those out of your body if you have depression.
What are other ways they get into our bodies? I'm curious.
Yeah, I was just gonna share about that.
Okay.
So metals, it's so easy to get metals in our body. I put a list in the PowerPoint here, but like conventional makeup, women who use conventional makeup, those products have toxic heavy metals in them, unfortunately. I always look for clean brands now of everything that I can. Conventional cleaning products have heavy metals in them. Deodorant has aluminum in them, conventional deodorant. So if you can, always opt for like cleaner versions that say that they're aluminum free. Obviously, if you're using like you're drinking out of cans, that's going to have aluminum. Even silverware will have you get metals into your body. Pharmaceuticals have them. Every single pharmaceutical has heavy metals inside of them. Pesticides, which are commonly used in society today, have heavy metals. Herbicides, fungicides as well. Air fresheners, synthetic fragrances. Drinking water has heavy metals in them. Even the outdoor air that we breathe, if anybody's ever heard of chemtrails, That is a huge reason why we have toxic heavy metals in the air that we breathe, unfortunately. Now, I share all this and I don't want to scare you, because I know right now, like, that is just, when I first learned about this, I felt so overwhelmed and I was like, oh, great. So now what? Do I just hide in a shell and not go out into the world? Definitely do not. I don't want to like invoke that fear in anybody. This is more meant to educate you so that you are empowered to make decisions for yourself that will be healthier, and not to trip you up and think that you need to live in a bubble and avoid the world, and you can't wear conventional makeup, or you can't use like metal silverware. I still use metal silverware sometimes. I kind of mix it up. It depends where I'm at, but I've gotten to be relaxed about this stuff. It's more just making informed
Being
decisions.
mindful, maybe, like
Yeah,
just kind of having that
yeah,
idea that, like, well, I could reduce it here or I could reduce it here, like,
yep,
you know, make my load a bit less,
exactly.
essentially.
Exactly. That's perfect. You said that perfectly. It is. It's more about just like, how can you just navigate getting less of these in your life, and also empowering you with the education to know that you can clean it out of your body with that, and you will feel a lot better once you do. So heavy metals are the third one. The fourth root cause is deficiencies within the body. So deficiencies are very common. We all have heard of the standard American diet, which is basically people eating junk food. Very common for people to eat highly processed foods that are man-made nowadays. Our The way that we eat and our nutrition is very removed from nature, from our natural uh, ways that we used to eat as humans. And this really promotes deficiencies within the body, because people are eating man-made foods that do not have nutrients anymore. They don't have the magic of all of the things that come in like fruits and vegetables, phytochemicals, minerals, electrolytes, water and hydration from foods as well. So if you eat foods that are processed, that's dehydrating to your body. And a lot of people also have chronic dehydration, which is another topic for another time. um, but it all contributes to these deficiencies. Um, Even the way that like fruits and vegetables are grown nowadays, like the soil is depleted of certain minerals like magnesium. We don't get enough zinc from our foods, and this can really play a role in creating depression in the body. So that is the fourth root cause there. And again, you can have different types of these mixed and going around. Can you go to next slide, please?
Yep.
Okay, so if you are ready to heal depression, like, I highly recommend that you understand what specific root causes are going on within yourself. And you kind of have to do a bit of detective work to get there. And there's people that can help you, like me. You can do it on your own. It just kind of depends. Once you understand what root causes are in play for your specific body, that is when the fun begins, because that's when you get to come in and like make a healing plan for yourself, or get help to create a healing plan and start to change your nutrition. Nutrition is so fundamental to healing depression. That is the top way that I have healed depression myself. And I'll give you basically the large perspective of this. When you have those root causes in your body, a lot of that has to do with toxins that are coming into the body, and the body being weak and not being able to like handle that on its own. So one method of healing depression is to take our plant allies. I like to call them plant allies. They are our friends of nature. They help assist us to become our truest, best self, healthiest self within our body. And once we do that, all of our other levels of health and healing can also activate and heal as well. And they are fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are so powerful at healing depression and cleaning your body out so that you can get rid of those toxins that are coming in. They also bring in those deficiencies, those nutrients that you need that you were deficient of, and really support your body. One of my favorite things about Medical Medium is that he has this system of explaining magical foods that help to heal us. He calls it the Holy Four, and that is fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices, and wild foods. So in this slide, I've listed specific fruits, veggies, and all of that specifically target depression. So all of these will help to heal depression. We've got apples are super good for healing depression, melons, papayas, berries. So imagine that these foods are coming into your body, and what they're doing is they are helping to rid your body of all of that junk, all of that toxic junk inside of your brain, inside of your circulatory system, helping to get all of this out of your body so that you can be more of a pure vessel. When your body is more of a pure vessel, you can connect more to those energies, those higher energies that are, your higher self, your soul, your spirit. You can really connect better with that. When you have the toxins in your body, it's like you can't really connect with those energies. And when you have depression specifically, it's your depression is signaling to you that you need to clean your body out and get all of that stuff out and start healing your body and bringing in the nutrients to heal, like your adrenal glands, and heal your brain, heal your neurotransmitters, and get those working efficiently again. Top elixir for healing depression is celery juice, just pure 100% celery juice. 16 ounces every day on an empty stomach is really beneficial for starting to heal depression. Whenever I work with people, I tell them to go slow. So don't just go out and all of a sudden just juice celery every day. If you are to try this out, just make sure you start with a small amount, do that for a while, and then work your way up.
I have
Yeah,
a
Derrick?
question.
Mhm.
What about if someone were to buy celery juice at the store? Because I saw at Whole Foods the other day they had celery juice already juiced in their store. Does it lose some of the, I mean, I'm just curious because I've drank it before and I'm wondering, am I really getting everything as if I freshly juiced it, or?
That's a great question. And the answer is no, it's not the same. The celery juice in the store, I wouldn't really call that like fresh. Fresh is best, freshly
Right.
juiced from your juicer. Or you can also use a blender and then use a nut milk bag to squeeze that juice out.
Oh,
If you don't have a juicer, yeah. But the store bought isn't as good, and I wouldn't recommend it unless that's something that resonates with you to get you started to drinking celery juice. Then I think that's okay. But
okay.
you want your goal to be to get to the fresh juice. So it's like kind of like the next best thing it would be.
Yeah, I was just curious because I think in our busy lives that might be something people would think about. So I was like, is it as good? And now I
Yeah,
know that maybe not.
yeah, yeah,
Because
for
it's not the
sure.
same, it's not all those live things that are still
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. And they also sometimes they'll like pasteurize juices and stuff, and that it loses its like magic, its nutrient magic when you do that. But so celery juice is really good. Another one is coconut water, because that is getting fresh electrolytes back into your body, which is really good for healing your brain and your neurotransmitters. So I think like those are the top two elixirs that I would recommend for healing depression. And then also wild blueberries are really good for healing the brain. But all of these foods are good. And then, yeah,
Would
we can go.
anyone, I was gonna see if anyone wanted to screenshot this before I move on, just so you know, if you're going to the store this weekend, you can think about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Allison?
So is the coconut water kind of similar to the celery juice where it needs to be like, say, fresh, or do you have a certain brand that you recommend?
Yeah, the coconut water, it's good to buy like fresh coconuts if you can and drink the water out of there, but that's not easily accessible to everybody. So also buying bottled coconut water is just fine. Make sure you get a reputable, clean brand. If your coconut water ever comes out pink, that means it's rancid. Don't drink it. It should be kind of like a creamy white color. And my favorite brand is called C2O, and it's like it has a
yeah,
blue and white color to the bottle. I use that a lot just because I know that it's straight and clean. I think Simple Truth organic
yeah,
coconut water is also really good and clean.
that's the
Um,
kind I have.
but other brands you have to be careful about. Like, don't use Taste Nirvana. Avoid that one if you can. They did some shady practices with their labeling, and a lot of people in the community that I'm in kind of fell out of them because you can't trust them. But yeah. Also, I don't think it's really a thing for people to like juice coconuts, so I wouldn't worry about that. Just like drink it as best you can from the bottles and stuff.
I have a question. Is there a greater benefit between having like consuming the celery juice versus like the full celery, or if you like use a Vitamix, for example, to blend the celery into a smoothie?
Yeah, good question. So the celery juice, when you juice it, it becomes a medicinal elixir. And just extracting, you're basically kind of like extracting the medicine out of the celery, and you're just allowing your body to consume only that. And it's super healing that way. When you use a blender and you like blend it and say you do a smoothie, it's not going to be as potent of healing. You're getting those fibers in there with which kind of mess with the absorption of the medicine of the celery. And it's just not recommended to do it that way. It's better to do juicing to get the benefits of it.
Beautiful.
Did you have another question, Allison?
Yeah, how much coconut water do you suggest drinking a day and how many times a day?
It's a good
Um,
one.
yeah, that's up to you. Because everybody's different. So it depends on how it's feeling to you. Again, like I always recommend starting with a small amount of anything that is like going to be naturally healing, seeing how your body reacts to it, and then you can increase as you go along. Sometimes when we start healing with nature, we can get like detox reactions, especially if it's like your first time introducing this kind of stuff to your body. Um, and so you just want to go slow. So I would say like nice there. Yeah,
I got thirsty.
start start with like maybe like one of those little cartons and see how you feel, and then you can continue to work your way up. You don't have to like drink it all throughout the day, like probably one small bottle. Um, I don't know, 16 ounces is good.
Okay.
Um, because you also want to make sure you're hydrating with water throughout the day. So that can be a lot of hydration. So you don't have to like go crazy with the coconut water. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So now we'll move on to herbs and supplements that are specifically healing for depression. And on The left side of the slide, you'll see I listed the herbs. We've got licorice root, lemon balm, ashwagandha, California poppy, kava kava, hops, hibiscus, passion flower, skullcap. These are all like really calming herbs. They help your body relax. They help your mind calm down. I did list them in order of importance. In general, like those are licorice root is really great for the adrenal glands. Lemon balm will calm your body and your nerves down. It also kills off those pathogens and viruses that we were talking about. And then the right side of the slide, we've got just like the supplements and vitamins and all of that that are recommended. B12, really important base supplement for health. It will heal your neurotransmitters and your neurons in your brain. So that is like the top supplement there. Liquid zinc sulfate is really important. And then you can continue to read down. We've got spirulina and barley grass juice powder at the bottom. Those specifically help to detox heavy metals. And if anyone is interested and thinks that they have heavy metals, you can look into what's called the Medical Medium Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, which will specifically start to detox the heavy metals out of your body in a safe way. It's really important to detox the heavy metals out safely because you do not want to get them stuck in your body and other places. That will cause more damage. And that concludes it for the body piece of healing. And I will let Derrick take it away with the mind part.
Thanks, Kelsey. That was very informative. And also, I've worked with Kelsey a lot, and she has helped me get way healthier with my food choices, even just those little choices. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I have so many things that I still am working on, but it's kind of gotten me to think about things. Like, I see my food choices in a whole different way after working with her. And I do feel way better. It's helped me in way more areas than just physical. So I'm going to start going over the subconscious factors of depression and sharing that with all of you. And welcome to whoever just came in. The subconscious mind is really everything that's below the level of looking. So in our everyday life, we have our conscious mind, and that's the part of us that is always trying to analyze things and figure things out. You know, the conscious mind is thinking, oh, you know, what is that person thinking of me? I need to do this. Maybe I should clean my kitchen, all of that. The subconscious mind is way more powerful than the conscious mind, though, and that's the thing. We oftentimes will really spend a lot of time trying to consciously figure things out, but the subconscious factor hasn't changed, so then that makes it not actually sink in. So what does the subconscious mind do? And the way that I like to teach is if you have a question, just say it and interrupt me. I don't care. Because I want people to really understand on a deep level, like where you feel that you understand it. So just right now, based on what you currently know, would anyone like to kind of take a guess at some of the things that the subconscious mind is responsible for? So the subconscious, anybody?
Jessica looks like she has something.
Yeah.
My easy answer is everything.
Pretty much. So yeah, the subconscious mind is so
Cat
it controls 94.
Cat says automatic functions, and
Yep,
Teresa says
absolutely.
drives us
Yeah,
nuts.
94 to 98% of everything is subconscious. So if you're trying to control 100% of your life with 4 to 6% of your consciousness, that's not really going to help a lot. So, what we want to do in healing is if you're suffering from depression, what's going on under the level of looking? And that's where my work comes in. So the subconscious mind, like Kat said, it does control all of our vital functions, and like Jess said, it's basically everything. So our heartbeat, our breathing, the way that our body does everything, the way that you're driving down the road and your car drive, you don't even consciously think of where you're going, but your car goes off the right exits. That's all subconscious. So there's really no intervention necessary from the conscious mind. So we can't live without our subconscious mind, but our conscious mind thinks that it's in charge of everything, but it's not. So the subconscious mind regulates our digestive processes, our glandular secretions, every complex system in our body. So Kelsey was just talking about the adrenal glands. The subconscious helps regulate those. If you think about people that are on life support and they have these heart-lung machines, and Kat said, yeah, it's like cruise control and to drive us nuts. Yeah. And it really is like cruise control. It's like all of this is happening behind the scenes and we're not even really involved. If it was left up to us to run all of those senses, everything that's going on in our body with the conscious mind, we would not live for even a few minutes. So when people are on life support and all those machines are doing certain things, it's really not even coming close to the complexities that our subconscious can do for us. Now, the problem with depression is a lot of times the conscious mind will get in the way of our healing. The conscious mind can always get in the way of proper operations. So a good example for this, if you were on an airplane flying in the middle of the ocean and the pilot is flying the plane and you went into the cockpit, you wouldn't know how to operate that airplane most likely. And I don't think we have any pilots in here right now, but you probably wouldn't know how to operate the airplane, but you could definitely get in the way of the proper operation of the airplane. You could, start bothering the captain, you could beat him up, whatever, and the plane would crash. So it's like you don't know how to fly it, but you have the power to crash it, right? So that's the same thing with the conscious mind. Our conscious mind is basically that person that is trying to take down the plane. And if we think of it that way, it gives us some perspective and insight. that it's not actually able to operate our body, but it can get in the way of the proper functioning of our body, and it can start causing all of these deeper issues that are going on, that then manifest in physical form, that start making your life difficult. So depression, anxiety, fear, it's all kind of the same really dark energy. So right now, I'd like for you to just close your eyes if you'd like to join us with this, and just begin tuning into the energy. Like, take yourself to a recent time, or maybe it was a time a long time ago, but just some time when you were feeling this energy of depression, and start to view that energy. Maybe you notice there's a certain color, a certain shape about it. Maybe it's a certain weight. Maybe it has edges. Maybe they're sharp. Maybe they're dull. Maybe you can tell if it covers different parts of your body. What's anybody noticing about that energy itself of depression?
Mine, I noticed like a black mass, kind of like a see-through smoky thing, and it's got spikes around it, and it's like the left side of my stomach.
Beautiful. Not, I mean, not the energy, but you did a great job articulating that. So that energy itself, what I want everyone to understand through that exercise is just that that energy itself is different things are attached to that same energy. That energy has been there with you probably for some time. And Allison, do you feel like that energy has, you've felt that through a long period of time and different
Okay,
stuff attaches to it?
so I grew up in foster care. I have had so much trauma in my life, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, since the beginning of this, like, it makes so much sense. Yes, it's been here since probably day one with the trauma, so probably over 30 years. So, yes,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely.
Yeah. And the reason I brought that up, it's not about a, and I'm just reading these comments here. And Kelsey, so yeah, it's this dark, heavy energy. And it's very deeply seated inside of our being. So we almost don't even notice because it's always there. So we don't really know like how good we could feel if that heavy energy wasn't there. So it's usually a systemic issue. It's clustered. You'll have different symptoms and different conditions, but it's all that same energy that is causing all of these programs to run, because there's certain subconscious programs that are attached and encoded in that energy. So the next piece to that is that it begins growing through these vicious cycles. Um, so think about how depression affects you when you're experiencing it. How many other areas of your life does that affect? Because I don't know about any of you, but when I was depressed, I spent a lot of time just isolated. I wouldn't even leave my house. I wouldn't turn anything on. Like, I wouldn't talk to anyone. I would just be in that darkness. And yeah, sleeping. Teresa said sleeping. And that's another thing about depression is we can find ourselves either sleeping way less or way more. So it's this imbalance. And that imbalance starts to cause all these other vicious cycles in our life. All of those vicious cycles begin creating more and more food for that subconscious program. So, what would happen to everyone if you just stayed in your house and isolated? How would that affect the other areas? And I'm just reading these comments here. Yeah. And Jess said endlessly crying and sleeping. And Zoe said, I went through a period years ago where I locked myself up in my room and avoided human contact, even my roommate. Right. And then that causes others to not want to be around you because they're in the same way that if you're in this really amazing energy that's highly magnetic, the energy of depression is repulsive and not in a mean way. Not saying if you have depression, you're a repulsive person, but others do receive that energy and they kind of will shy away from it, from
Yeah.
facing that energy. So it does have those effects. It could cause you to miss work and then you get in trouble at work and then you feel horrible about yourself. So then we just keep piling on more of these negative programs that don't really help us. So just to get some perspective, could you think of any stress related diseases that the body could get just from being in that stressed state constantly?
All of them.
Heart
all
trouble.
of the diseases.
Yep, that's the answer. Literally, stress can enhance or cause any and all kinds of diseases. So that's why it's so important to get this addressed if that's what you're experiencing, because it's not going to magically one day, you're not going to magically one day wake up and have all the answers it takes. I mean, sometimes that does happen, but most of the time it takes work, it takes commitment, it takes that firm decision that you're going to start moving in that other direction. But that being said, it's moving that other direction is not like you can go from 100 miles an hour one way to go to 100 miles an hour the next way. That would rip a train off of its tracks if you're going 100 miles one way and hold it the other way that fast, that quickly. So when I work with people with depression, we start from where you're at. And so loving yourself where you're at now is an essential ingredient to healing from it. And that can be really difficult to do on your own when the only program running is those negative limiting beliefs. So we're going to get into how do we solve this? How do we help ourselves start easing our way back into well-being? So the basis of all therapy, of all energy healing, everything is, it comes down to allowing the energy to be what it wants to be, allowing it to fully complete the process that it wanted to complete all along. And it sounds kind of counterintuitive. Why would I want to bring up this energy that is really, really difficult and uncomfortable? And that's because we have to feel it to heal it. We have to figure out what information that energy has for us so we can integrate that knowledge and then use all of that power of that energy for our well-being and not to keep us stuck. So the first process that I'm going to teach everyone is a letting go process. And this process is not about feeling better necessarily. It's about getting better at feeling. And it helps us to see that the energy is just energy. It's just consciousness. It's not, we have all these stories in our head. It feels like it's life or death. You know, our body is going through the same thing that it would go through if we were being chased by a lion or a tiger. But we're not, but it's our body's in that state. So really just opening up to that energy. So we just did that exercise where we tuned into that darker energy of depression. So in this process, we're literally just going to open to the energy. So just setting that intention for yourself that you're going to open to this energy, that you're going to allow it to be as big as it wants to be. You might bring in some type of spirit guide, angel, your higher self, any type of spirit guides that you work with. You can invite all of them to be here with you to help comfort you as you're feeling this energy. But the letting go process is so simple. It's just opening up to that energy and really describing it to yourself with as many descriptors as possible, because that's going to start taking away the emotional charge of that energy, because you're now looking at it in a whole different way. You're getting these characteristics of it, so you're seeing more clearly that it's not you, it's something that you are the observer of. So what you're going to do is just open up to that energy and allow it to change form. It might get bigger, it might get smaller, it might feel more intense, it might feel like a knife stabbing in your chest. But just allowing all of that energy to come up and allowing it to kind of fluctuate, allowing it to run its course. And by doing that, little by little, that energy is starting to transform, it's starting to transmute. And you'll stay present with that energy until you feel a major shift. And if we stay with those energy patterns long enough, it will leave. The longest one of these can even last is around 20 minutes. We keep them alive for years, though, by continuing those thoughts that we have about them and believing those thoughts and feeding it. So really, it's as simple as opening to it and letting go of it. And then once that heavier energy is gone, what type of energy do you want to put there? What type of energy do you want to experience? So you could bring in, I want to experience love. I want to experience unity. I want to experience love and connection and creativity. And you can put anything that you're wanting there. And then you're just going to stay present with that energy as all of it begins to flow through your body in that spot where the heavier energy used to be. And one thing for this I recommend is people put a little check mark on a sticky note, put that all over your house. And whenever you're feeling that energy of depression and you see that check mark, that prompts you to go into this letting go process. The next thing is deep relaxation. A lot of times with depression, our body is so hyped up in that state with the nervous system that we're so disconnected from deep relaxation. Sometimes just that can get your body in a place where now you can see things in a different angle and you're able to handle it differently. I am giving everyone a free 10-minute, 13-minute meditation. After this, I'm emailing it to everyone that is signed up for the workshop, and that you can use to get you into that deep state of relaxation. I do a progressive relaxation on there, which is just moving through all the different parts of your body with relaxation. And you can do that on your own too. Just focus the relaxation. Kelsey?
I want to say one thing about the letting go process. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember we did a session, you did a session with me, and oh my gosh, that is like it was so helpful for me. I remember
Mm-hmm.
this is a little TMI, but I mean, I'm a woman, menstruation is a thing. And I remember I had told you, like, we did a session together of like
Mm-hmm.
being with what I was experiencing and just allowing it and like letting it move through me. And then the next day, my period started, which showed that like it really got my energy like flowing really well. And yeah, it was so powerful. So I
Beautiful.
personally like that technique is just really helpful.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Because I remember how profound it was for you, because you were telling me, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like you weren't
Yeah,
expecting that heavy of a
yeah,
result.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, the other piece that which I'm glad you brought that up because it triggered the memory to tell all of you, when you're doing that letting go process, you're nurturing yourself. So it also starts help getting us into self-love because you're nurturing yourself with that same nurturement that maybe you didn't get from your parents when you were a kid. Myself, I grew up with my mother had her own mental struggles and I never got the type of nurturement that ideally you should. So I had to re-nurture myself a lot through that process when I was healing because there was so much heavy energy that I had to do that through and basically just give yourself that love that you should have gotten as a child or what a ideal parent figure would tell you. Um, so any way you can get into deep relaxation is going to be good. And also just stilling the wheels of your thought processes. So just kind of visualizing a wheel, which is all of your thoughts, and seeing how fast it goes, and then literally just slowing that down and winding it down. And you can feel your thoughts also slow down with that because the subconscious is so open to suggestion. It's so ready to work for us and it's always working for us. but sometimes it's a little misled. So the next piece is I'm going to teach all of you how to build positive subconscious suggestions for yourself. You can also use that with your clients as well. And what this is just building suggestions for your subconscious that are positively worded. So it's a little more powerful than affirmations. Because affirmations are kind of empty at times. If you're not really feeling that emotion and someone else wrote it, it's not really going to resonate. But these ones that you write yourself are going to resonate great because the subconscious always obeys better with your own voice. So the first factor is positive wording. What that is let me give you an example. Smoking cigarettes. If I said, I don't want to quit, or I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, the subconscious is hearing smoke cigarettes is the main key thing that stands out to the subconscious. So if I wanted to quit, I probably wouldn't mention anything about cigarettes. I would say, I want to live and breathe clean air. I love breathing in clean air. I love the feeling of being healthy. So does that that's one example, but we don't want to use the words can't or don't or won't or any of that. It's all focused into your future without mentioning what you don't want. So can anyone come up with one? And can you think of a positively worded suggestion?
I think Allison's going to share. Allison, are you going to share?
Yes. Mine would probably be just like I want to live a clean, healthy life and be the best version of myself. Just a
That's
general.
beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful general, but that is all positively worded. She's all focused on where she's heading. So you can make you can do all types of stuff with this. You can create a tape of positively worded statements and you can play that for yourself. Either, first thing in the morning, right before bed. Those are excellent times when the subconscious is really impressionable. So even if you just use your sound recorder on your phone and you make a 5-minute positively worded suggestion for your day and you listen to that first thing in the morning, you're going to have such a different day than if you wouldn't have done that. It's also just kind of a habit that we get into because it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you start wording things positively worded, you're not telling people what is wrong with you, what you're struggling with. You're telling people what people are hearing from you is what you're gonna experience. And that's a really magnetic and high vibration energy. Doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about if you're going through rough times though. And then another one is just giving yourself the suggestion that peace, harmony, and order can take over your entire energy field. And that's so powerful. It's so simple. But whenever I do that, I can literally feel that starting to take over. And it gives me insight on things I'm working on or things I need to get done. The next one is limiting beliefs and programming. So there's a lot of things that are programmed from childhood and things like that that we go through and we look at it. So any situation you're going through, if you were just to ask yourself, what am I believing about this situation? And is that ultimately even true? And then re-educating yourself. And the next thing about these suggestions is do it in a energy of conviction. So using that energy from your lower chakras, just saying it with this sense of conviction, authority, your subconscious will easily obey because that tone equals we have to do something now. So does that make sense? And I know I'm almost done here, sorry. Taking a lot longer than I thought. So finding balance is all about your momentum and self-love, honoring yourself. That's one thing that can keep us in depression, is just not seeing ourselves through the eyes of self-love and seeing ourselves through the eyes of someone growing up that didn't treat us very good. So, and also what you're focusing on. If you're always focusing on the depression, then your subconscious is trying to help you. So it's always going to be giving you more things to be depressed about. And it really is momentum. Once you start doing a few of these things, that will feel good. That will encourage you to do a few more good things. So it's really just a process of expansion, of adding good things, honoring yourself for what you're feeling, loving yourself for what you're feeling, allowing that energy to move through, and then what do you want to put there and how do you want to move forward, and then just staying in a place that works for you that can keep that upward trajectory going.
Nice. Thanks, Derrick. That was great. A lot of juicy information about the mind and working with the subconscious, which actually is a perfect segue into the soul healing aspect of healing depression, because I'm going to be explaining the connection between the soul, the subconscious mind, and the conscious. Like they work together as one. So basically, when you have depression, it means that your soul resides in your brain, in your head. And it is basically like that electricity that I was talking about in your brain. That's your soul. And when you have depression, it's your soul picking up that something is wrong inside of your being, whether that be like the trauma, the physical root causes that I was talking about, or something, the mental patterning and wiring in your subconscious mind, in your conscious mind. It's detecting that something is off and out of balance. So people who have depression, oftentimes they are sensitive souls, because again, they're so sensitive that they can feel that, and then it's just like something doesn't feel right, they can pick that up. There's other people who something's wrong inside of their body, but they don't get depressed because their soul isn't quite picking up on that, and they're just kind of going about their daily lives. So and the soul is sending signals to your conscious and your subconscious, alerting your mind basically that something's wrong. Like, hey, let's get it together, we need to like do something so that we can get healthier and heal. And I put a quote here: the soul of a depression sufferer is telling that person there is a problem and a purification process needs to happen.
So
And
true.
yeah, and the purification process is what we're talking about on the whole body, mind, soul level of healing. Like you heal, you purify physically, which allows you to purify emotionally and in your mind, mentally, which also allows you to purify spiritually. So it's like it's all interconnected. That's what I love about the holistic model of health, is that we aren't just like parts of ourselves. Like we aren't just the physical part and we aren't just the mental
Mm-hmm.
part. It's like, imagine it all interconnected together, woven together. It all affects each other. It's quite beautiful and poetic, I think. Can you go to the
Mm-hmm.
next slide, please? So here's a perspective, a spiritual perspective that I would like to share with everybody. And it might be a little bit hard to connect with this, but just give it a try. Try this on for a little while. See how it fits for you. Think of your depression as a teacher that's helping you up level your life right now. Just let that soak that in for just a second into your being. Instead of seeing your depression as like an annoyance or a hindrance or something that is like getting in the way of your life, what if it's actually a gift? Because it's your soul, again, it's your soul detecting and telling you and letting you know that something is off within your body and your being, and that now is the time to address that and face that. Like Derrick said with his processing, it's like going into it and learning from it and letting this be like your time to rise up and to heal and to listen to your body and build that connection with your body. And it's about creating a relationship of love with your depression as well. Like, think of your depression like a little baby, and your baby is crying and wailing. When a baby cries and wails, what do? Do you go to it and you say, stop? Like, that's so annoying. Stop. Ugh. Usually, the best way to help a baby crying is to care for it and bring it love and figure out, like, what do you need right now? What do you need from
Yeah,
me,
that
little
goes,
baby?
it's that nurturement again.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. It's nurturing. It's bringing in love. It's bringing in self-compassion for your depression. And this is bringing in like spiritual energy that is going to really assist you in healing, and we're letting go of the resistance to it. And Derrick, I know, really identifies with like surrendering, like you're just, it's here and it's okay, accepting it and learning from it and moving forward and flowing with it.
Yep, as little resistance as possible is an easy way to remember it. It's just like, am I adding resistance here, or am I accepting and allowing? There's another process called RAIN, which is recognize, allow, and you could look it up on Google because I can't remember all of it, but that's the process that it is.
Yeah, I was doing mindfulness meditation in a group on Thursday, and the facilitator was talking about the RAIN method. It can be really helpful. I
It
honestly,
can.
I don't remember what all of those acronyms stand for, but I still know that it like helps you address your emotions and in a
Mm-hmm.
really peaceful way. Can you do the next slide, please?
Yeah, one more thing before I switch it, I just wanted to say this is vital to send appreciation and love to yourself for doing this, like give yourself appreciation for wanting to find the answer, for being willing to finding the answer.
Yeah, definitely. Gratitude is big, and it can feel hard to do that, but the more that you just start to try it, the more you'll get used to, like, kind of like flexing a muscle, or sorry, working out a muscle. Like, you have to start
Yeah.
somewhere and it'll get better over time. This is a list right here of how you can actually energetically amplify your healing and get it going. So I'm going to
Yep.
walk through each of the steps really quick with you. Number one is decide. For me in my journey, that was so huge to me healing. It was like I reached
Me
rock
too.
bottom. Awesome. Yeah, I reached rock bottom in my health, and I was like, this sucks majorly. I don't want to live my life like this. Like, I know there's something else meant for me, better for me. Like, I have a higher potential than this. I feel it within my soul and my heart. And
Mhm.
and so at that point I decided I want to heal. Like, where do I want my life to go? I envision it to be better than this. I didn't have quite a clear vision yet, but I knew I wanted more than being in rock bottom and pain and suffering. And so I decided I want to heal. And that catapulted me into figuring out everything else. So the next step is that I set an intention. I decided, I said, I am ready to heal. I want to heal. I connected with my consciousness and my subconsciousness, my soul, that I am ready to heal. And I also prayed about it. And that was so super, super, super helpful for me. And I still pray every single day to this day. I pray to my light team, which is, I consider my personal light team is God, angels, past loved ones, guides, guardian angels, and Jesus as well. And everybody can create their unique light team. Maybe you don't resonate with the term light team. That is totally okay. You know, this is you taking your spiritual creativity and using the words and the entities and the spirits and the energies that resonate with you and praying to them.
Prayer. Yeah, prayer
Prayer
is
is
so
huge.
powerful to me.
Yeah. And there literally are beings in the higher realms that are here to assist us. The angels are here, especially. And so when you have to use your free will to let them know that you want assistance from them. And this is actually what can guide you to get the answers that are right for you. And so I started praying about, I want to heal, please help me. And then I would actually have things start coming my way. It was kind of like universal magic where it was synchronicities just started happening. Like I was connecting with this person or that person and learning about what I needed to know to keep healing and keep leveling up in my health. And it helped me to heal my depression and get through that. Heal my emotions and all of that. After you pray, you can specifically work on your connection with your higher self and getting to know yourself deep within and listening to your own intuition to guide you. Really, really, really powerful. Really powerful. I don't even have words for it. Like Derrick could probably talk a bit about this because we are super passionate about this, both of us. So you want to share about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, first, I agree with everything that Kelsey said. That's, you know, this is a great process to begin moving into that deeper spiritual connection. And it's not about religion, I grew up really adverse to anything spiritual or God related. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. And life took me into those places where, circumstances made me willing to try different things because I couldn't get my life together. And the way I started to pray was just the spirit of the universe. So I don't know, that might help someone to connect, I knew that there was this interconnected force that we're all a part of. So I just started talking to that force like a friend. I'd go on a walk and be like, hey, what's up? I'm not doing very good today. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. So, but I'm open, so even just going through these processes is another point I wanted to bring up is be process oriented and not so much result oriented, because we don't know how the universe wants to get us to that state of well-being, but we know that it will happen if we do our part and use our power and time and energy to put into that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
This stuff lights me up. This is my favorite part of healing. And yeah, it's just super magical the way that this works. It's very, very potent. I mean, if you just pray, like just start praying and connecting with your guidance above, and you will see changes happen, miracles happen for sure. Um, and so
And
we're
the
gonna
decision is so important. Like, we have to make that decision. Like, have you ever heard, I think it was Ralph Waldo Emerson, once you make a decision, then the entire universe conspires to make it happen.
Mhm.
That's true. So it's like, no, I will do this.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of can I, it's like I will do it and
Yeah.
opening to the next step.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody right now, if you have a pen and paper or maybe just in your mind, just if you're ready, if you feel ready in your heart right now, just say, I am deciding I'm ready to heal my depression. Just commit to that right now. If now is your time, you should know inside, and we're here to support you in your decision. And it's exciting, like, because you're going to be opening yourself up to magic and miracles. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that concludes the body, mind, soul aspect of healing depression, and we're going to move into our special offer. But make sure you stay on the call, because after this we'll do Q&A and we'll open up so that we can answer your questions. But we're just going to share about our special offer, and Derrick is going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So Kelsey and we've worked together for quite a long time as practitioners, colleagues, and we've been talking for years about doing stuff together. This workshop was the start to that, and we created an offer because we've both been through depression ourselves, and we both fully healed it with holistic healing. So we felt like this is the perfect thing for both of us to begin helping people with. So if you are needing that support right now, if your life is difficult, you're having a hard time, and you need someone to help you with support and help you get those results, that's what we're here for. So we are offering 3 months of private mentorship with both of us. So you'll be having sessions for 3 months with both of us, communicating with us through voice and chat support between sessions. Kelsey's going to create you a holistic nutrition plan directly modified to your body, your needs, your preferences, and she's really good at working with you to, like, it wasn't hard for me to go from eating really bad all the time to starting ease back into well-being, and she does it in such a way that it's very, like, it's not painful, is I guess what I was trying to say. Then I will make you a customized subconscious reprogramming meditation that is customized to your subconscious for you to listen to for reinforcement. And then we're also available to help you with anything, not just depression. So if you have other areas of your life that you're needing guidance, support, we're we're here to help you as a whole person, not because this is one aspect, but we understand you are a real person that has all of these different aspects, and we definitely honor that. So, through working with us, by the time you're done, you're going to be experiencing freedom from the energy of depression. You'll be in complete alignment with what your higher soul purpose is, what you're actually here to do. You're going to have a complete support and presence from Kelsey and I. You're going to be seen, you're going to be heard, you're going to be honored, and it literally will bring you to a higher vibrational frequency. And not just for the time that we're working together. The work we do is so deep that it changes your entire way that you view reality. So that's why it's so sustainable. It's not just like, let's do some positive stuff for 3 months and make you feel good, and then you'll go right back to depression. No, we're here to support you through that process of yourself growing into this beautiful flower that right now you might be here. We're here to help that open up.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in that, then stay on the call and talk to Kelsey and I after we're done with Q&A, and we'll go from there. But the main thing is, how much longer are you willing to stay where you're at if this has been an issue?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to open it up to Q&A, and it's totally open. I have all the time in the world, so if anyone has any questions. From anything of the entire workshop or anything that Kelsey and I could help you with. Allison?
So mine is not so much a question, but I am a single mom, as you know, so anytime I save money. As far as like the angels and working with higher beings and whatnot, I'm currently doing this thing on Audible by Corinne Garillo, I believe, and it's called The Angel Experiment. I'm not done yet, but it's really amazing and it's free. Just thought I'd share.
Nice.
Cool.
Thanks, Allison. Yeah, the angel experiment.
I found feathers, and I did this with Travis. Since doing it, it was like, oh, look for the feathers. Sometimes people look for these to see your angels are communicating with you. And we took our kids to the park, and we found these huge feathers, and they were just on the path.
Wow,
Really,
that's
really
beautiful.
cool stuff. So, yeah,
Oh,
just thought
yeah.
I'd share.
Fun.
Yeah, thanks, Allison.
Did you say
I
that's on
love hearing stuff.
Audible?
It is, and it's called The Angel Experiment. And she guides you through, it takes about 15 minutes a day. She'll guide you through exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to experience. And you just do like a little meditation every day and get in touch with your angels.
Love it. Angels are so amazing. I love angels.
Me too. I work with a lot of angels in my work.
Yeah, they've got the most gorgeous energy. I can't even describe it. Who else has worked with angels? Anybody else here? Anybody else resonate with them?
I know Allison has, because we've worked together. Kat, Teresa. And Kat, you had your hand raised.
Question for Kelsey. Well, Derrick too. Like for my situation and people that I work with, depression is second to illness, chronic issue. It's not primary for most people. It's secondary. So is dealing with that, is do you approach that differently than as a primary? Is depression as a primary condition?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's actually very common for a lot of people. A lot of people have chronic illness going on while they have mental health issues. It really depends on the severity of the symptoms for people. Usually, a good way to go about it is to get clear about like what is the most debilitating symptom and start there. Um, yeah, I would recommend doing that. But again, like I work with people holistically. So this is like taking into account the total of what is happening with somebody. A lot of times, like you'll have a mix of symptoms going on. Like you could have your chronic illness symptoms with your mental health symptoms. Once you map out those physical root causes of what's going on with your health, you could see that, like, oh, I have brain fog. The root cause of brain fog is viruses and heavy metals together. I have depression. So that means that I probably have the viral and heavy metal component of the root cause for depression, which means now you have a clear picture that you need to tackle pathogens, the virus, and the heavy metals and getting that out. So it's more of like your symptoms are painting a picture of what's going on in your body. You understand the root cause and then you target the root cause. Once you target the root cause, that's when you get results in your healing. That's what I did for my symptoms. I
think that's great, Kat. A great question, because yeah.
The primary or the most the top complication is pain.
Where is the pain?
It's systemic. It's a structural issue. There's a structural issue in the body.
Was it injury related?
It's a combination of genetic. We're born with it. It's a genetic.
Okay.
It's a genetic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why, I mean, so Derrick and I have our offer together, which is like super potent and powerful. And then we both work with people individually. So if you wanted to hop on a call with me to talk about chronic illness specifically, I can also do that and offer that because, you know, that's a bit more complex and yeah, it takes looking at it together.
My belief and my idea is learn to live best with the condition using a lot of these tools and techniques. At least it's helped me. It's helped for me, and I know some other people.
Yeah,
but as people are experienced, so
yeah. Well, the thing is that a lot of people will come into chronic illness with treating it with the emotional mental component, which is very helpful for getting through like the suffering and the pain. But you do need to bring in the physical healing component to get those things out if you really want to transform it, because that will bring a lot of healing. There are people getting out of debilitating severe pain because they are changing their nutrition and they're tackling those root causes. They're getting the viruses out of their body, they're getting the heavy metals out of their body, and they're getting their life back because of that. You kind of have to do a little bit of all of it. And like that's what Derrick and I specialize in, is helping people, taking them through that process. And I specialize in helping people pinpoint like what do you need first? Where are you at? What do you need first to get you through to your healing?
So I work too on the subconscious level. We work with what's right in front of our face that's really difficult, and then we kind of work through layers. So, but yeah, I love that. And then Teresa said she got off 18 medications after she became a Reiki master. But that, I mean, I hear stuff like that constantly from holistic health, because when you start looking at yourself through as a whole being, things change. Then when you're trying to take one pill for one thing and one pill for all this, and then it's just they create issues, and then yeah.
Bringing
Yeah. And
its body to its best baseline. So then it can deal with, can cope better.
Yeah.
with-
I was gonna say for Teresa's comment, energy healing goes a long, long way in terms of healing yourself. Like energy healing is super, super powerful. Like maybe that might be the top way to heal. Although again, like I said, like you need all these little components to like heal totally. But energy healing is like super important in transforming everything. And I like to look at like what I do with helping people heal with plants is like plants are energy. Like everything we're doing is energy. But if you look at fruits and vegetables, they have higher frequencies. And what we're doing is we're kind of like borrowing their energy to put into our body to help us to become that higher frequency. So it's like they're literally assisting us with our energy. So, it's like we're looking at it like it's different, but it's actually all related and it's all kind of the same thing because it's all interconnected as our being.
Jess, you had a question?
Yeah, so actually, what Kat said kind of brought this up in me. What you also just said, Kelsey, when it comes to depression and chronic pain, and the chicken and the egg, and like what was there before, and is it primary or secondary? Everything is energy. It all comes from the exact same place, no matter how it manifests for us. Whether it's depression, whether it's pain, whether it's fatigue or anxiety, it's all energy.
Yeah.
So whether we treat it with plants or with the subconscious or with energy healing, everything it's getting is a way to get to that energy and shift it and change it.
Yeah. I have seen in my experience though, working with people that what we are consuming and putting in our body is so important. Like you can transform a lot with like the spiritual energetic. Some people will get stuck though, and I guess maybe if somebody's feeling like they're stuck or they are still
That can be what pushes them
lingering, yeah, then it's like, well, then it's time to get that piece of like what are you putting in your body and looking at that. Like the more I call
Yeah,
it
it's
more
an important
physical. Yeah.
I think the plants, they have been created by ancient energy and by just angels and collective beings, and they are super powerful. And so when we consume them, we very clearly shift something inside of us profoundly.
Yeah.
I just see it all as so connected, it's just
yeah. They're amplifiers. They amplify
Mhm.
energy and healing.
I
Yeah,
agree.
and I always visualize it like, I don't know how many people have seen that show Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds, but shows all of those, the patterns, and I just visualize like when I'm eating broccoli, like all of these shapes of sacred geometry and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's all
know,
true.
isn't it cool? And like cauliflower looks like lungs. I love the sacred geometry in plants. It's really fun.
Yeah. And yeah, Kat said living holistically as best as possible. I think that's all of us can do is just, do our best
Yeah.
and watch, we're never done with this journey. We're always, but it can be so much lighter and so much more joyful if we can get out of that, if we can get unstuck. And Teresa?
I had to unmute me. I couldn't figure out where it was. Sorry. Yeah, so when I was learning Reiki, my Reiki teacher, what she would do is she would go into, so if you're drinking water, every sip of that water that you're drinking is going into your DNA level. It's going into every one of your veins, every one of your orifices, every one of your arteries, and it's helping you to heal. It's helping you to replenish everything that you need. So as we start
Yeah.
to eat different foods and eat healthier foods, you look at that apple as, oh, that apple is going to help this today. It's going to help that today. Oh, and it does. And it actually makes the food, believe it or not, taste better because you're thinking of it as helping you to heal inside. And that's what I started to do. I lost 80 pounds. It's taken 3 or 4 years within that.
Congrats.
So it is very hard. It's hard to keep it off. I'm in my 60s now. So I'm not
Oh,
somebody that
wow, you look way younger.
thank you. Yeah, I try. I've been trying. My journey's only been 5 years now. It's not been that long, but I'm trying. And I opened up because God had a plan to let me open to help my sister because they told me that she was going to die and that her husband died 4 months before she did, and they both died of lung cancer. So I experienced over the last 3 years really, 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 really horrible things. But as we're going through it, and as I started learning more about Reiki and learning more about the energies, that it was meant for me to try to heal them before they went on to the other side, to get rid of some of the stuff that was lingering through their lifetime. And I really believe with all my heart that I helped them cross to go into the place that they needed to go in the afterlife. But I was so depressed for this last 8 months that I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. And then about 2 months ago, I said, I'm done. I'm done with that. I helped her. Yes, it was depressing. It was my sister. She's been my sister for 60 years. But you know what? I did. That day I got out of bed and I said, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to cry today. I'm going to think of something really, really happy. And that's what I started doing. I started thinking, I miss her so much. No, I started thinking of the happy things that we started doing as we were children. And I would look at the good memories and the happy memories that started pulling me out of that. I don't even know. It was a slump, depression. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't take it anymore. I
Yeah.
didn't want to go through that. I take care of an autistic baby all day. My daughter works, so I take care of her all day. So I'm busy and I had to do something. Reiki pulled me through life. And that's the energy healing. And that's what I got into. And that's what I want to do. And that's where I'm going. So I appreciate
Beautiful.
so much. I appreciate the both of you so much. And every post that you do, you helped me. You did. You helped me and pulled me up out of that. All of your, I want to call you a wise old soul because that's how I felt when I would read your post on a day that I'm really wasn't doing good. And that just made me smile. And I was like, this guy has really got some wonderful energy behind him. And that's when I started connecting with you and your group. And I'm telling you, this has been the last 5 months have been the best of my experience through all of this. And I really want to
Love
thank you for
hearing
that.
that.
I really want to thank you for that. So
Yeah, thanks for letting me know that.
namaste.
It really hit my heart. So thank you.
Oh, welcome.
That gave me goosebumps.
Well,
Yeah.
it was very heart. That's because I'm heartfelt when I speak, and that's how I mean it. I mean it like that, and that's how anybody who helps me, I will let you know that that's what you did. You helped me, pulled me out of that funk. No matter what it was, it pulled me out, and that's what I'm appreciative. Because who wants to sit around and be all day long? You don't, and we're not going to all wake up. Oh, today's a great day because we don't. We will have it off, but then you learn to work. Like you said, you have tools in your toolbox. This day you need this one, you pull it out. This one you might need that one. Well, maybe I need to talk to you today because that's going to help me. And that's what happened. I started talking to you guys and you started pulling me out and I feel a lot better. And I think that now I've gone to that next stage that I needed to get to.
Beautiful.
May I also suggest, like, yeah, these people here are like gorgeous and helpful and helping your energy, but also recognize you did that for you.
Right.
Like,
right.
You tapped into your power, your personal power, and got yourself out. And you were like, these people are gonna help me do that. I'm gonna connect with them. So also like just acknowledge yourself.
Exactly. It was thank you. I needed that. It was a combination of the whole, but that's what you need. And they say, it takes a community to raise a child. Well, it takes a community to take care of everything that goes around that child. You have to help
Yep.
you have to help the elderly, you have to help the sick, you have to help the maimed, you have to do that. If there's a wild animal that's maimed, everybody I know would go to try to help that animal. There are people that would hurt it to put it in its grave, but me, first instinct, help. It's all I want to do is help. Let me help you. It's all it keeps, let me help you. That's just me. It's what it is all about, is helping humanity to grow. That's what I feel I was put on this earth for, was to be a healer, to help wherever I can, whenever I can, to whomever I can. So I try.
Yeah, I also was gonna say, when you shared your story, it was a great example of that easing your way back too, because like we talked about, we can't go from really far that way to really far that way, but you eased your way back by looking at those beautiful moments between you and your sister, and that started easing you back. And so that's a good example for everyone else, is it's like that. It's just the tiniest thing in this moment, and then the tiniest thing in this moment when it's the next moment, but every moment is just another here. So yeah,
Yep.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I just had to let you know that. That's been in my heart for about 2 weeks now, and I'm like, I need to talk to him person to person, and I just wanted to tell you that. And it makes me feel better speaking it words face to face than to text it and type it out like that. So
Yeah, I appreciate you too, and I'm glad that you made it here too.
yep, that's what we're here for, is to help everybody, to help each other grow.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh, I just wanted to tell Teresa, because Derrick, as you know, you've worked with me. Our stories are very, very similar. I'm also a Reiki master, and I learned Reiki because it was out of necessity. I was just at a point in my life, I was lower than I had ever been. I was in a narcissistic relationship, and I had to do something. And so I totally feel you. I'm in the middle of starting my business as well. So yeah, I'm very proud of you. It's a hard thing to do. It's definitely not easy. And I 100% believe that you definitely helped your sister and her husband. 100%, no doubt.
And
But yes, I'm very proud of you.
thank you so much. And the craziest thing is, this all happened through COVID. So there wasn't somebody I could go 1-800-HELP me. I had to figure this out on my own. So, and it came through a lot of heartfelt conversations. When I first started hearing spirit, I had come in my room, and they go, "Oh, Teresa's home," and I'm looking around, going, "What?" I'm looking around the room, going, "What is going on? Who are you? What?" I thought somebody was in my room. I'm looking under the bed, in the closet, and they're going, "We're spirit." And I'm like, "Are you a ghost?" I'm thinking, ghost, I'm going to have things starting to knock over. And nope, that's not what it was. And I was opening, and this is what was happening. And this is a whole long, really big story, because when my third eye opened all the way, I was driving 55 miles an hour on the thruway, coming back from my sister's house, just doing a Reiki session over her. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing 50 beings in front of me, hearing them all talking at the same time while I'm driving. And I was shaking the whole way home. I come in the house. The only thing I cared about was to get under my blankets, put the pillow on my head, and I shook. And Spirit comes up, and they go, "Did you think that was going to stop us from talking to you today?" And that was just like the beginning of it. And after that, life speaks for itself. But it was quite a journey, I'll tell you. But that's why. And I'm glad that there are website or Facebook pages, and that are people that don't make me feel like I'm stupid, and that you're crazy and you're hearing things. The first thing my daughter told me was, she goes, "Mom, you're schizophrenic." What are you talking about? Well, you're hearing things that aren't there. Okay, well, I didn't know how to answer that, but I knew it wasn't schizophrenia, so what do you tell people like that when they say things like that to you? Though that's kind of hurtful, actually, right? But people don't believe you. What are you going to do? You can't make them believe you. All I can do is go through my days. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your story too, Elizabeth. I love meeting new Reiki masters that are trying to do the business. That was my main thing, was that I started the business and then COVID hit. So I really couldn't do much with it. And everything kind of still sitting there waiting, but it'll get there. I'll get there. I think next month is when I'm really going to push everything forward. So
We will all get there for sure.
yep.
So I think we are going to, if anyone has any last questions, I think we're gonna close here soon. And of course, we can all continue the conversation if anyone wants to message Kelsey or I also. But I just want to thank everyone for being here and sending you all a huge hug right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody wants to chat further, just reach out to me. I'm happy to hop on a call with you, or just talk in Messenger. And thank you for being here. It was so great to be amongst your energy, to hear your stories, and to just connect with you. And I know Derrick does too, so I'll say we believe in you, and we really know that you can heal.
So can I talk to you still on Zoom, or do I have to do a Facebook Messenger thing? Kelsey,
Yeah.
can we stay on Zoom, or do we have to go back into something else?
Yeah, we could stay on Zoom, and then if people are done, they can hop off now. It's totally fine, and then we could keep talking to you if you'd like.
I have nothing to hide. I basically, because of me losing all this weight and whatever, that's where I think I'm needing help now, is my diet and my food. And where do I go? Because that was one of the first things that Spirit had told me, is that you need to start eating healthier. You can't have drugs or alcohol. And they went actually down a list of what you're supposed to do and not do. And my husband just cooks whatever. I'm trying to, because the food isn't doing right. It's just, everything is like, I don't want it. It's like, nothing's appeasing to me. Even like pizza, I don't want anything like that now. It's like the carbs, any of it just like sits there. And I'm like, now where do I go? I mean, so when you started saying about nutrition and stuff, I was like, what do you tell clients for like nutrition and stuff? Where do I go from there?
So can you explain just a little bit more? Are you